Hello, Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest Chapter 15. When we last left off, rematches abounded on the Diablo ship as Urza and Kyria faced off together again after Urza's less than phenomenal showing in their last fight. Meanwhile, Natsu and Wendy started fighting Skullion and made a little bit of progress with him, but not a whole lot. Mailmord popped up briefly, but was kind of like battered back underground by Skullion's body, as I recall, or somebody's body. Gray and Lucy and the cats are still on their way, and meanwhile, in Magnolia, Loxus confronts Toka about his defending her, but he knows that Toka is hiding something. But Toka goes home and is confronted by Jalal, and that's kind of where we left off 2 weeks ago. So let's move right on into Chapter 15, Turning White. Our cover page is a picture of Jalal and Urza at like a New Year's shrine, I think is what it is. I'm not that familiar with Japanese culture, but I think I know that much. Jalal is in danger. What is the goal of the white mage Toka? So I think this chapter is going to be very focused on Jalal and Toka, judging by both that bit and the title being Turning White. So yeah, we open right with them, with Jalal and Toka staring each other down in Toka's bedroom. Toka is looking super evil, but Jalal speaks first. Why are you getting close to Fairy Tail? You should have some theories. It's because they're too strong. All that magic is gathered onto a single point. A magic too large will lead to chaos and destruction. The people who go against the teachings of the White will be reduced to nothingness. After all, the fairies are just a fairy tale. Alright, I can buy her motivation. It's simple, but it makes, given what we know about Toka and her followers, it does make a lot of sense. If you say magic is evil, then what about you? I didn't say that. It's evil when a magic too large piles up. And she lifts her hand towards Jalal. Anyways, I am not in the mood for a debate right now. Since you will return to nothingness. And we see something's happening. I like this effect, but I don't quite know what's going on. We see like after images of Toka that notably lead right up to where her outstretched palm reaches Jalal's chest. And we also see after images of Jalal headed backwards. What is that? Jalal is notably shocked by this. Your magic is flowing into me. Is Jalal gonna lose his magic right here? And the magic is like flowing from Jalal. A strong magic will turn black. A black like Zareth. Before it turns that way, I will turn the world white. So she sees herself as like preventing another Zareth. Okay. But Jalal can't really pay attention to her because he is in intense pain, screaming in agony as his magic is like ripped from him. But something happens to Toka, and Jalal is kind of like broken free from the pain, and now Toka's screaming. And now Toka like lands on her knees as Jalal starts to like rise up. We see Toka shaking. Run away. Now is the time. There are two Tokas before the one in me appears again. Oh shit, there are two Tokas, y'all. What do you mean? Hurry, I can't hold it. We see the evil Toka. Are you planning on getting in my way, Toka? Stop hurting more people, White Mage. So I'm gonna call the evil Toka White Mage and the good Toka just Toka. That's gonna be my my nomenclature. But Jalal, I think, realizes what's going on and gets the hell out of Dodge. Or not. That's not what that is. That is Gajeel coming in at just the wrong moment to capture Toka. Captured! And he grabs her by the arm and the head. And Jalal looks at him in shock. He pile drives Toka face first into the ground. And the rest of the group, Lily, Levi, and Juvia, run into the room. Gajeel, bind her with iron now. Yeah, cuff, and he cuffs her. Levi speaks up. I didn't think Gajeel's suspicion would be true. And Juvia, is Jalal-san alright? You, just as I thought, are black. But White Mage, so she's white? Well, it doesn't matter. Toka is unconscious now. Seems like she's unconscious. Thanks, Lily, for stating the obvious there. And Jalal looks on at the scene with Team Gajil on the unconscious Toka and thinks about what he's just seen. Another personality? The White Mage and Toka are different personalities residing in the same body. Just, what is all this? What if they're not, though? What if it's like Toka trying to play Jalal for a fool? Kind of like what Silver did with pretending to be Deliora when he fought Gray. Oh, what if that's what's going on? I don't know, though. Anyway, back on with Fairy Tail. Urza and Kiria are still going at it. Kiria is going on the offensive, but Urza is deftly blocking each blow. But Kiria raises her leg up for a kick and swings it down, and Urza barely blocks it with her blade. But the blade shatters. Kiria has destroyed Urza's sword. And Urza looks on in shock. Told you, there's nothing I cannot cut. But Urza just smirks. No matter what you cut. And we see the blade starts to regrow. You cannot cut our bonds. And Urza looks on, not Urza, Kiria looks in shock. What? That sword is now fully regrown with some dark lightning attached? Did we know the sword could do this? After all, our job was to slay dragons. So I made Wendy enchant some magic on it. Oh, good shit right there. Good shit right there. Dragon slaying sword, Belsirion. I'll try that edge on you now. So I guess she's enchanted both some regenerative magic and some dragon slaying magic, or maybe sky dragon slaying magic and heal the sword. I don't know. Whatever. It's fucking cool. Kiria's just, mouth agape. We cut back to the deck as Wendy is using Dragon Force magic on Scullion and Mailmord. With my magic, I can blow away all of the ash magic. That's great, Wendy. Scullion just kind of grimaces. How impertinent. Madmole, which I guess is his name now? I thought it was Maidmorald or Maidmoral. I don't know. Something else with an R, I thought. Anyway, Madmole rushes into the fight. Yes! Armor dragons, steel fist, and he raises a punch. Fire dragons, iron fist, and the two fists collide, resulting in this huge shockwave blasting off from the two of them. Gah! And Natsu loses the punch. We see his arm takes a bunch of damage from the collision as Madmole is fine. Natsu-san! The armor dragon scales will never. And then he notices something. Oh, and the flame, Natsu's flames, I think, are affecting him now? No matter how good the armor is, can it take on that heat? Oh, Natsu's coming back. The armor dragon has heat resistance. My heat can overwhelm that. It won't work. Natsu-san, keep going. I'm a little worried now. Wendy seems to be ignoring her fight with Scullion, and I have a feeling Scullion will come up right now and do something to Wendy. But anyway, the flames are now fully engulfing Natsu and Madmole. Madmole is grunting, trying to get through it, as Natsu yells, "Burn! Fire Dragon King's Purgatory!" And we see this dark flame rise up. We've seen this move before, right? I feel like we have to have. I'll look it up in a second, though. But Madmole seems pretty down for the count now. Cha! Impossible! His armor! And the spell creates this gigantic ball of fire, several times the size of the ship. Luckily, it does not affect the bottom of the ship, but that's a huge attack. Scullion seems alright. Madmole seems pretty done to me. And for some reason, he felt the need to burn Wendy's clothes off. Okay, whatever. And Natsu just grins at the damage he's caused. The intense battle with the Dragon Eaters finally concluded. No, it's not. Scullion and Kiria are both still alive. Madmole I think is down for the count, though. Fairy Tail's pride was blazing through these flames. And yeah, that is chapter 15. This was a pretty good chapter, actually. I'm looking at that Fire Dragon King's Purgatory move, see when we first saw it. Was that the thing that he was hiding under the bandages way back when? Or no, it looks like it's a brand new move from this chapter. Okay. Anyway, moving on to the there we go. Moving on to the chapter itself. The first half of the chapter was phenomenal, perfect, really could not be done better. Ups the mystery with Toka, gets Gajil's team and Jalal on the same page. How Fairy Tail will react to the Toka half. Maybe they'll take pity on her and, I don't know, hope that she can contain the White Mage. We don't really know all the details on that yet. But oh no, oh. I think she's lying. I think she's lying. Okay, so here's why. Remember when Jalal and Lox? Remember when Jalal first found wait. No, never mind. I was yeah. Actually, I'm still right. Okay, so when Jalal first found Toka, assuming she was the good Toka, she pretended that she had no idea about the White Mage. You know, she was confused as to why Jalal was there, right? So I'm still thinking this through. The cogs are turning. So if she was the good Toka who knew she had this evil half and wanted someone to help with this evil half, she wouldn't have denied it. I don't think. You know, she would have said, "Yeah, there's this dark half of me. You know, there's the White Mage that needs to be stopped." Instead, she's like, "I have no idea what's going on. I don't know what you're talking about." I think there's only one Toka. I don't think she actually has split personalities. I think she's trying to use that to fool Jalal and the rest of Fairy Tail. That's my theory on that. But we'll see more details on that in the new year when that all gets released. But yeah, the stuff with Fairy Tail, the Urza stuff, I said this last chapter, this is the best Urza fight in years. Like, I don't know if I quite laid this out in my full, like, thoughts on what happened with Urza in the main series. But essentially, my thoughts are that once Mashima set Urza up as, like, the strongest member of, like, the main cast, he constantly had to have enemies that one-upped Urza's past enemies. Which worked fine for a while, until you get to that scene where Kyoka wipes out Urza's 5 senses, and she still comes out on top. Which is really the moment people lost all faith in Urza. If they hadn't before then, it was that scene. Of course, the infamous "because she's Urza," and that's kind of. And what this is doing differently is that Kiria is in no way, shape, or form stronger than Eileen. And that's good. That's very good. Because all of a sudden, it's believable Urza can win. She's still struggling. It's still a magic she's unfamiliar with. But I still see that scene. And I'm like, yeah, Urza can win that. It's not impossible for Urza to win. And so when Urza inevitably does win, it feels like a logical conclusion instead of like, what? She destroyed a meteor with 2 broken legs and a broken arm? Okay, that's a thing that you can do now. I was much more forgiving of that scene when it happened, but in retrospect, it's not very good. She doesn't need, villain suicide to win anymore. She can believably beat Kiria, and that's a good thing. The Mad Mole fight, I'm a tad disappointed with. Natsu pulled out a new move we've never seen before. But Skullion seems pretty much okay. And hopefully we can just get back to Natsu and Wendy having good strategies to beat Skullion. Speaking of good strategies, I neglected to bring up the Belsirion sword, which is a great strategic move on Urza's part, knowing what she's getting into. Also, I don't quite know how I feel about her naming a sword after her evil mom. Excuse me there. But because she didn't. Her mom tried to kill her repeatedly throughout the Alvarez War, and then she named a sword after her because she killed herself rather than kill her. It's a tad too Albus Severus for my taste. Back in Harry Potter. Does that date me? That doesn't date me. People still watch Harry Potter. Anyway, this was a good chapter. I'm a little iffy on that Mad Mole stuff, but the rest of it was like top notch. Some good shit this chapter. So yeah, I'm gonna leave this video off here. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe or do whatever the fuck you want. I don't really care. And as always, people, keep kicking ass, and I'll see you in the future. Bye!